Hello and aloha pa to all the people in Canada. My name is Abbas Temori. The same night, it is 12:20 now, and I just spoke the first video about an introduction of my perspective, but I prepared some notes from before. It took me a few days to put it together, and I'm going to be talking about the natives in Canada. I call them the forerunners, the First Nations. I came to know the natives in Iran through the comics like Cochise, or see the movies. That movie James Stewart was playing, there was a great Cochise, you know, the Apaches, and few things about the natives in Canada, you know, big totem poles, you know. They were very, very strange people for me. Like, it was so amazing just to know these people. What do they think? What they are? But as I come to Canada, I saw the pictures a little bit different from that picture for us. I saw it's deeper than that, actually. I think the first time, maybe it was the first day I came to Canada, it was in Sarnia. I don't know, there's a lady, she might be around, Christine I think was her name. I asked her if she can take me to natives. She took me to Kettle Point, and when I went there I saw new buildings, natives or not, just like us. We could think in one face that maybe Koreans, maybe Japanese, maybe, you know, Mongolians. I think that was Chief George. I said, where's the teepees? He said, what? Where are you coming from? I said, I'm from the other side of the world. Where? Iran. He didn't know what Iran is. Oh, when? I said, just a few days ago. He said, oh, you're expecting those things that you read, that we are like that. I said, he said we used to be, but things changes, you know. Well, I think right away there was a connection. He liked me and I liked him, but it was no different really between some white people. Then from there, you know, I went to Thunder Bay. I see a lot of them in the streets. I used to talk to them, sometimes hire them, trying to get into their head. They won't let you in. There was some reservation in Mount McKay. A few times I went there and I tried to talk to them too. And finally, I think after 4 or 5 years, we had a Baha'i teaching. We ended up going to Ozenburg. Now I was a few months there. I really got deep inside them to understand them. Today I can tell you that native people in Canada that I've seen them, they're a little bit different from the south. If you go to Navajos and Apaches, they talk a lot more, and they're more socials and more sociables. People up here, they're more spirituals. Natives and British people, Anglo-Saxons, are exactly two opposite poles. I could say that, exactly counterpart of each other, like two poles, South Pole and North Pole, two ends of a battery. And as opposite as they seem, but it seems in some strange way, there are connections. We have to discover what it is. But they kind of fit each other's in a very weird way, but they're totally opposite in everything they do. We're talking about words. I can translate the words from English to Iranian, Iranian to Indians. Sometimes the words will be explained a little bit more. But there is, beside words, something else. It's called understanding. Now that's different. It just cannot be simply translated. What do you understand from love as a native man? What a white man, Anglo-Saxon, understands, or what an East Indian. See, love is an understanding, is an intangible words. It becomes very difficult to translate the understandings. So, two people may speak English, but they don't understand each other's. It's just like two different frequencies, like a short wave, long wave, one cannot receive the other one. When some of the words are, but he doesn't know the construction of word as what kind of a meaning does it carry. See, the meaning is the cargo, it's carried by the words, so very difficult. It's not very easy. It's like two different pipes, in the plumbing. And contractors bring example, this is 3 inches, this is 4 inches, whatever you try, just won't work. You need an adapter. The one side is 4 inch to attach to the 3 inch in order to create a connection between them. So there's mediations required, Sometimes I say to myself, okay, if I was a native born right here, I would say to myself, well, okay, my country is occupied, but what do I know of my country? Did I even travel all the way around it as a native? Not really. If I was Ojibwe, I was around this area in Ontario, So Blackfoot, I was back on the, West Coast. And nobody come here and nobody attack us, nobody invade us, so our population is just small. And then as a native, I would see the rest of the people, they're going up, they're airplane, they have phones, and they have all kind of things. So what would I do? I think I would talk to the rest of the people that we need to know these things, and we should somehow invite some of these people that they know these things to come to Canada and tell us about those things. So as a native First Nation man, I would go a little study and be with people. I would go with English, with Indians, with Japanese, stay there a few years with them. At the end of the day, I would say, probably English people, because they're most knowledgeable than the rest of the world, and their record is not that dirty. When they were in the other countries, they didn't do that bad as, there's no Stalins, or there's no Hitler, there's no Genghis Khan, none of that has come from England. And they're very powerful as well at the same time, and they know a lot more. I would just ask them to come and help us out here. Then all of a sudden, this invasions, as we see it, would have changed to friendship invitations, And to tell them, well, we are a nation, we have no money, so help us, to build Canada, and instead you could live with us if you like, give you part of the land. And that's one way of looking at it, because there's no other way that this country, Canada, would stay by itself, by this population. It's impossible. Somebody would have come. Believe me, I'm from Middle East. If Iranians would have come down here, or East Indians, or Japanese, would have been a totally different picture. A lot more difficult than what the one you see. That's in the Spanish, when they went to southern Mexico. You see what they've done. Really not good. Nothing comparable to Canada, or for that matter, Australia or New Zealand. Maoris in New Zealand are, a lot better off. So, when you bring another nations completely opposite to you, a lot of things are bound to happen, whether you like it or not. Some of it are great, some of it are not so great. So, but when I speak of the natives, I can see sometimes Anglo-Saxons. I meet them lots of time in the coffee shop, my Tim Horton, my office in the morning as a contractor. I get some kind of a, nagging noise from some of the Anglo-Saxons. They say, these natives are lazy bastards. They're misusing their laws, and they're doing a lot of things. People don't like it. At least this was in '84. I would hear it lots of times in Thunder Bay. And I don't know, let's talk about natives. Native people, they wouldn't like it at all either. One of them, I remember, said that, don't you think it's rude to talk about people that you don't know? Like, we don't ask you to talk about us. Why are you saying it? So, but when I met more of them, I saw, thanks God, there's only 10% in both sides that they are having issues. The rest of the population doesn't think like that. Most of the Anglo-Saxons race, they're pretty sympathetic about the natives. I've seen it in my own eyes. I took white people to Ozenburg to see how they were infatuated with the native ways. They said, we never had this kind of a picture. I said, because you have to come and touch it, you know. So far you were window shoppings. Now you are in here and you see people, eh? And other Canadians, like Iranians, others, big apathy about this. They do not want to do anything about it. They say it's not our problems. So, at the end of the day, I think natives are better off to be with the English people that they came down here. But I know there's lots of difficulties with this. As an Iranian, I'm elder of God. I'm a Canadian, a staunch Canadian, very sensitive about Canada and Canadian people, all of them, especially Anglo-Saxons and natives. I found it my duty to think about these people and see what I can come up with, you know. Might be useful. These are my observations. I paid big price to learn it. I spoke in the last video. It took a few months, you know, and spending a lot of money to understand these people. I've seen them in the reserve, outside of the reserves, and I know British people, Anglo-Saxons, I mean. And I've heard anthropologists, archaeologists, all of that. But all of it is written by the, not by Indians, it's written by the Anglo-Saxons, by the scientists. It's not an Indian view, put it this way. What I'm going to say is a little bit different, you know. My descriptions of the native people is that I'm a smart guy. I'm a salesman in explaining and elucidating the matter. I say native people are not Euclideans. We use Euclidus, you know, geometry. We have triangles, we have circles, we have perfect, rectangle. We're formulated, you know, but empiricist. Native people are natural. You show them one circle, they could bring you many stones from the natures to thousands different of circles. To them, they're all circles. The look and their view is natural. It's not manufactured view. It's their views manufactured by the nature itself, as an evolution of the nature, their view. Ours is manufactured by ourselves. Our way of life is a theory that we made it. Their theory is natural, it's coming from the nature. It's the one with the nature. I don't know, this description, how descriptive it is, but it is like that, okay? We make tools. Every time we have a problem, we're cold, we make heater. We get cold water, we make fridge. We're tool makers. Anglo-Saxons is a nation of tool makers. They make lots of tools. A man comes with many tools. His house is full of tools. It's like a factory. Natives, they don't do that. First Nations are not tool makers. Really, rarely when they need it. But most of the time, they adapt to the nature. If it is cold, they move to a little warmer place. and then they try to fight and make their body to stay in the cold. I remember Billy Trout in Ozenberg. We're all, gathered together around this huge fireplace. He was away from us on the other side, sleeping with his kids. A big bowl of water, all of it was full of ice. This guy didn't even catch cold. I think one day they were progressing more and more. What our solution for the health of the body would be probably to implant genes from all other nations in us, so that we don't need so many tools and toys and medicines. Our body itself would be strong enough to withstand the virus, the bacteria, the cold, anything. I could just sleep outside without having anything. Our body becomes more compatible to the nature. So far we're just going away from it. More and more we're fighting with it. You say, we know you're cold, you're going to kill me, we're going to do this. So I'm not saying which one of the ways is better. Sometimes it's better to be part of the nature, and sometimes you're going to have to learn other ways to do it. Definitely making tools is necessary in support of the progress, but natives are not like that. Just a description that I've understood. In contacting with them, when we say hello to each other, I saw the movie Avatar. It's a good movie, watch it. And the movie, people are from the earth, but they make a body, alien body, on the floor. And they sleep and put their mind into that body, control that body with their mind, and that body goes outside, the native body of the people of certain planet. It's called Avatar. It's a representation. It's an Indian word, means manifestation. The actual word is really Uttar, means manifestation of God. It's an Indian word. So we always use the avatar. Like an actor, we create Hollywood. So when I say, my name is Tony, or I'm Abbas, hello, I'm creating a character, a personage that contact to you. You never know me really who I am. Native people are not like this. So when you say, hey, I'm Tony, or I'm this, I'm that, to him is that you want to talk, you can talk, but that's not how I contact with you. They have to be with you. 5 days, 6 days, sometimes a month. They scan you. They want to pass these words or the things that you want to say you are. They have to go deep inside you. They don't want these actors. They want to go the persona. They don't want the persona. They want to see the actual person behind it, the actor. And there at that time they make connections with you. Then only then they say, okay, we like you or we don't like you. Until then they try to make connections. So when you all of a sudden you go there and you talk to them about the religions and this and whatever, to them it's so rude. But what are you saying? I am this, I'm that, I'm coming here. This way of friendship they don't understand. It's very spiritual if you look at it, But that's how I found them, They don't use avatar, they don't use persona when they talk. If we can make them to laugh, we've connected to them. The language we use, Anglo-Saxons and us, than the rest of the world, is a descriptive language that covers all the tangible things that you could see, physical, also non-physical. We can talk about God, we can talk about love, a bunch of stuff. Native language is tangible only. For tangible matters, they have words. For intangible matters such as love and this and that, they communicate differently. I can sit down with a native in a room, my presence can make him to cry or love. I need much to talk and be descriptive, okay? So this is very unique in humanity. They have this power, I've seen it. There's avatar. And the language, as I said, is I've studied them that in possession. I say I have things, this is mine, that is mine, house, cars, world, that mountain, I don't know. To them it's possession. It doesn't have meaning like that. Do you possess your own hand? I guess so, but it's not my possession, it is me. Native ways like this. Nature is theirs. They are from nature. Why do you need to possess that mountain or that animals or that horse or this tree? It's there. It's not something to possess. Possession is a difficult thing for them. It's something reluctantly they like to do and they have to do sometimes. But they don't have any passion towards it, It's a chore. For us, we just love to count everything we have. They're a part of the things, They cannot own what they are themselves. You want to own things, I am that thing, it says, We have a romantic view about the nature. We go in the nature, see the water, mountain, eagle. We get excited. We write poetry. We draw a picture, making a statement. Natives are not like that. They are in the same area, but they're not affected with the nature the way you are. Again, I'm not infatuated with my hand, with my leg, with my face. Nature is me, I'm in there. When you are, they say that you haven't been in the nature, you haven't seen the nature. You seem like an alien. You seem like a person who's been far away from home. My house, I live in it. People might pass by every day, draw their pictures and this, but I don't think about it like that. I live in it. So their view is different, you see. They are the same with the nature. So, psychology. So, they get affected, by natures, for example. They see the eagle to them, it's beautiful, it's going. They might get a feather of the eagle, to keep it and hold it. It's holy for them. But they don't try to compete with the eagle that they could fly, like eagle. We like to do that. They don't. They just say it is them and we are this. Their religious view is the same way. They will never want to convert somebody to themselves. They're making a spiritual connection with you. As economical, social avatar is not working for them. You have to be in your real you, and then they will know who you are. And their religion is the same way. Why would call it a border area and nations and border is not natural to them, you see. The religion